What's up, you guys? I'm back with another haul slash review on the new Bath& Body Works luxury collection. This past weekend, they had a sale where all the body mists were $5.95, so I ended up buying Guilty as a Fig, Loyal to You, Midnight Addiction, and Madame Mystique at $5.95. And then on Sunday, they actually had a flash sale where they did an additional 20% off online. So I ended up buying Seeing Rouge, Aqua Hour, and You're Cheeky for buy online, pick up in store. So if you want to hear my thoughts on these products, please keep watching. And I wanted to quickly mention that I won't be talking about Covered in Roses or Oh Cherry just because last round that they came out with luxury fragrances, I already talked about them. So if you want to check out my thoughts on those two fragrances, go check out my last luxury video from Bath& Body Works. But let's jump right into this video. The body mist I was most excited for from this collection was definitely Loyal to You, just because that one was duping Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, and I feel like that one's been getting so much hype lately, and I actually have that one, so I'm able to compare it. And the other one that I was super excited to try was Midnight Addiction, because that one is duping Black Opium. So I'm gonna kind of spoil this for you guys and just right away tell you that this collection is amazing. I definitely like this more than the ones that they duped last time around. Last time around, there was really nothing that was a love for me, but there's definitely some loves in here, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start off with Guilty as a Fig. So Guilty as a Fig is duping Fleur Father Figure, and I've never smelled that one before, but now that I've tried Guilty as a Fig, I can see why that fragrance gets a lot of hype because Guilty as a Fig is beautiful. That's the one I'm wearing today, and I actually already wore it on Sunday. And it's actually kind of funny because when I was in Bath& Body Works testing all of these fragrances out, some of them I really could not smell. I don't know what it is about Bath& Body Works, but I swear sometimes I go in, certain fragrances I can smell clearly, others I don't smell at all. I don't know if I'm just going like nose blind because I'm overwhelmed by like all the candles and soaps, but I couldn't smell Guilty as a Fig, but I took a chance on it and brought it home, and once I was home, I definitely could smell it. So let's get into the fragrance notes for Guilty as a Fig. This has fig nectar, lush jasmine, and creamy musk. So with this one, I was very intrigued by the fig. I really don't have too many fig fragrances. I think the only one that I have is one by Ariana Grande, but other than that, I really don't have anything fig. So let's go ahead and test this out. Even though I already know I like it, I just kind of want to refresh myself. And you guys, this is beautiful. This smells very grown up. I don't want to say it's like cologne because I don't think it's necessarily unisex. It's definitely more feminine, but there is a touch of masculinity in there, but it's also sweet and powdery. And this is so beautiful. I really like this one. I was actually thinking how I've never tried Father Figure, but this one really makes me want to try it. But at the same time, why would I spend so much money when I can just go to Bath and Body Works and they've actually released the perfume of this. So, for a much more affordable price, I could just get the body wash, get the body cream and layer with the perfume. The only downside I will say to this one is, like I said in the store, I really could not smell it. And this is the second time I'm wearing it, and I've only sprayed this maybe 2 hours ago. And on myself, I already really can't smell much of it. Maybe other people can smell me, but I really can't smell myself. And with other fragrances, hours and hours later, I can still really smell it. But with this one, I can't. So if this is something that you like, maybe get the perfume, or like I said, you can do the body wash and a body cream, and maybe that'll make the lasting power a little bit better. I think the scent itself is beautiful, but staying power, I really don't think it's going to last you more than 2 hours. So despite this not being like a powerhouse fragrance, I'm still really happy that I have it. This one really surprised me. Father Figure was not even on my radar, but I love the scent. Okay, so now let's talk about Loyal to You. I was so surprised that they were duping Dolce & Gabbana Devotion just because that one I've had so much interest in, and I actually caved in and bought the real Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, so I'm really familiar with that fragrance, and I can tell you guys this is definitely a dupe. The only difference is obviously it's not as strong, but it's almost identical. So let's get into the fragrance notes to Loyal to You. Its notes are sweet lemon blossom, orange flower, and vanilla marshmallow. So at first, I thought this was going to be a gourmand, like before I was familiar with the Real Devotion. Um, I thought it was going to be a gourmand, but it isn't. So if gourmands aren't your thing, but you still kind of want to try something a little bit fruity and sweet, definitely try Loyal to You. I really like this one, and dare I say, I think I like Loyal to You more than the Real Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. Dolce & Gabbana Devotion is a powerhouse. Whenever I wear that one, I really just need one spray, maybe two. Anything more than that is really going to be like suffocating and overwhelming. So with that one, I really have to be careful. Like if I don't want to stand out, I really should not wear that one because I almost feel self-conscious because it is so strong. Loyal to You is, like I said, so similar, but very toned down and very wearable. I wore this one to the gym and I didn't feel self conscious. Had I worn Devotion, I 100% would have been self conscious just because it would have been a little bit inappropriate to wear. But Loyal to You is just so beautiful. Like I said, it is nearly spot on, but toned down. It's very creamy, very lemony, and marshmallowy. Yeah, so this is basically Devotion. I think I paid around 90 something dollars for the Devotion, and had I known that Bath and Body Works was going to dupe it, to be honest, I don't think I would have bought it. Just because I prefer Loyal to You. They're both a little bit borderline like Pine Sol, like lemon cleaner, which I don't like. Um, but like I said, there's something about Loyal to You that I love. The real Dolce& and Gabbana Devotion, it's almost like screechy. This one isn't. There's a creaminess to this one that Dolce& and Gabbana Devotion doesn't have, so I feel like Bath and Body Works really nailed this one. If you like lemony fragrances, I would really consider trying this one. I still prefer Ice Lemon Pound Cake over this one, but I still am really happy to have this one in my collection. I like this one enough that I would want to maybe get the lotion just to make it last a little bit longer. But I figured since I already have the lotion to Ice Lemon Pound Cake, there's really no need for it. But I was definitely tempted when Bath and Body Works had this 5.95 sale. Ice lemon pound cake is definitely just a straight up gourmand. It's exactly what the name is, just an ice lemon pound cake. It's very true to the name. But I know some people don't like, some people don't want to smell like straight up food. So if you're one of those people, but you still want to smell somewhat sweet, try Loyal to You because it does have that like cakey vibe. But I think that orange flower kind of makes it more perfumey and slightly floral. But I really like this one, guys. Definitely check it out if you have been interested in Devotion. So this next one I was so excited about just because I love Black Opium and I finally caved in when Ulta had their like 21 Days of Beauty. The Black Opium Le Parfum, the vanilla one, went on sale for 50% off. So finally I caved in and bought the flanker to Black Opium, but I don't own the original. So when I found out Bath and Body Works was duping the original Black Opium, I could not wait just because I already know I really adore that fragrance. So, Midnight Addiction, I wore to bed a couple nights ago, and this one is strong, you guys. In the store, this was one that I could definitely smell, but I sprayed it on my arm and, pretty much everywhere before bed. But when I was laying in bed and I kind of had like my arm on my side near my nose, I could really smell this one. It was amazing. And when Bath and Body Works was having the additional 20% off, again, I was so tempted to get the cream to match with it, but I didn't. But let's go ahead and talk about this one. So the notes to this are ripe plum, rich almond flour, and addictive coffee bean. All those notes sound right up my alley. If anything has coffee in it, sign me up. Same with vanilla. I'm a really like gourmand coffee kind of girl. So let's go ahead and try this. And this is pretty. It definitely has that black opium DNA. Like I said, I don't own the original black opium, but I have a few dupes and I have the flanker to black opium. So this is black opium lip parfum. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this just to compare the two. But Midnight Addiction literally smells just like the scent notes. I definitely smell the plum, the vanilla, the coffee. This is like a dark, sexy scent. This almost gives me Into the Night vibes, but Midnight Addiction's a little bit more grown up. Into the Night's a little bit more fruity, and this has plum, but I feel like that vanilla and coffee kind of, really blend well with it. So let's go ahead and try Black Opium Lip Parfum just to compare the two. I know they're not exact, but let's go ahead and try it just because this is what I have. And you guys, with this one, same with like Devotion, it is so strong. Again, this is one of those that can make me a little bit self-conscious if I wear it to the wrong thing. Um, for example, if I were to drop my son at preschool off in this, I think it is just too much. It is too sexy, too like nighttime. I think this is more of like a fragrance I would wear, out to dinner or at night. But for every day, I think it's just a little bit much. And I definitely smell the differences between Midnight Addiction and this Black Opium. I really wish I had the original to compare to it because Midnight Addiction is just so spot on with what it's duping. This one is leaning way, way, way more vanilla, whereas this one I can really smell the coffee and the plum. I also definitely smell the vanilla. So as they're both drying down, they are starting to smell more and more similar. That black opium DNA is really peeking through both of them. Obviously, the YSL one is much stronger. It's an EDP, whereas Midnight Addiction's a body mist. But when it comes to the scent profile, you guys, they are so similar. Bath and Body Works again nailed this one, and Midnight Addiction is not weak by any means. When compared to Guilty as a Fig is definitely way more subtle. It's going to kind of fade away in a couple hours. Whereas Midnight Addiction, I went to bed wearing it and I woke up, I could still smell it so much that what I was wearing to bed, I wore a hoodie that night and I had to wash that one just because I didn't want to have that smell linger on that one particular hoodie. So if you guys are looking for something a little bit stronger, definitely give Midnight Addiction a chance. So, as a little side note, another thing that I wanted to mention about this collection is that if you already own some of these fragrances, these are so nice to layer with. For example, this Black Opium one, I have it in the 3.3 ounce bottle, and it's kind of heavy, kind of clunky, not something I really want to hold in my purse or even leave the house with just because it was a little bit on the pricey side. So I love that Midnight Addiction is so close to it. They are so similar that Midnight Addiction I can throw in my purse and layer with it if I need a little bit of a touch up. And I don't have to worry about breaking it or losing it just because it was so affordable. Okay, so now let's get into Madame Mystique. So this one in Bath and Body Works, like I said, I think that I go like a little bit nose blind or, my senses just get a little bit altered. And Madame Mystique, this is one that I kind of had to keep going back to. I was really undecided on if I wanted it or not. Um, just because I was afraid it was going to be similar to Floral Fantasy, and that is one that they came out with on the last luxury collection. Really did not like that one, and they're definitely different. They're not all that similar at all. But Madame Mystique in the store, I was really having a hard time like smelling it, and the faint smell that I got, I didn't love. But I'm actually really really happy that I picked it up because now that I've smelled it, I do really enjoy it. So this was one that I honestly was not 100% sure what it was duping, and I think part of the reason is that I don't own whatever this was trying to dupe. So from what I've heard, it's either duping Mon Paris or it's duping Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. So the YSL Montpellier I really don't care for. I don't own it, but I've definitely sprayed it in Ulta and it's just not one that I enjoy. And again, last luxury collections, Floral Fantasy, I believe was trying to also dupe that one. And surprisingly, they're really not all that similar. I enjoy Madame Mystique, but I don't really enjoy Floral Fantasy. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Maybe this is duping the Chanel one because the Chanel one I don't have, but I actually have an aunt that owns that one. And whenever I hug her and she's smelling that one, I can definitely tell on her it smells so beautiful. And that's one that I would definitely consider buying just because on her it is lovely. So let's go ahead and try out Madame Mystique and talk about the notes. The fragrance notes to this are bright red berries, rose petals, and sultry woods. And I like this a lot. This is giving like a sexy 30-year-old woman, like a classy, put together, grown woman. This is so good. And now that I'm smelling it on paper, like I already wore this one, but now that I'm smelling it again on paper at home, I am kind of getting that Mon Perry vibes. But I like Madame Mystique a lot more. So another reason I was kind of suspecting that this was the Coco Mademoiselle dupe from Chanel is the name, Madame Mystique. I feel like that's kind of a play on the name Coco Mademoiselle. I don't know, what do you guys think? And I don't have Coco Mademoiselle, but I do have the Sofia Vergara perfume, and that one is very similar to that one. So I'm going to go ahead and get it and test those side by side. So here is the Sofia by Sofia Vergara, and again, this is kind of giving the same vibes. Whenever I spray this one on myself, again, I get Chanel vibes, I get grown adult woman vibes, like you're over 30, you have your life together, and you are sexy. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this and side by side compare the two. So I just sprayed Madame Mystique again just because that one's a very light and the Sofia Vergara one's very strong. But you guys, these are so incredibly similar. They both have dark, fruity vibes and kind of like earthy woodiness to it. And I'm on Fragrantica now, and the Sofia Vergara one, the number one perfume that this is compared to is the Coco Mademoiselle one by Chanel. And when I spray these two side by side, they're not identical, but they are so incredibly similar. So it's weird. I really wish Bath and Body Works would tell us which one this is duping because I feel like more people are saying it's duping the YSL one, whereas in my opinion, it's really giving more Chanel vibes. So what do you guys think? Which one do you guys think this is duping? So now that I know that these both are incredibly similar, I think I just found one layering combination that I'm definitely going to be using. I will say though that with Madame Mystique, if you don't own the Sofia Vergara one or the Coco Chanel one, Madame Mystique is very light. I sprayed the Black Opium dupe on one arm and Madame Mystique on the other arm, and I could really, really smell the Black Opium one. Whereas on the Madame Mystique side, I really couldn't smell it again after a few hours. So this one is also another very light one, but another beautiful, beautiful one. This is like a classy, sexy, grown woman. So again, so, so happy that Bath and Body Works duped potentially Coco Chanel. Okay, so now let's get into seeing Rouge. So this one really, really surprised me when I was in store because I really had no intention of buying Seeing Rouge just because Baccarat Rouge 540 really isn't one that I enjoy. I've actually never smelled the original, but I have basically all the dupes to Baccarat Rouge 540. So when I sprayed this in store, on the paper right away, I was like, wow, this is lovely. Um, but I was nervous that I wouldn't like it because, again, I own such similar fragrances to this one, and on myself, I really don't like it, but on paper, it was beautiful. When I was in Bath and Body Works, I ended up not picking it up just because, again, I was afraid that I wouldn't really like it, even though it smelled really pretty in store. So I didn't buy it, but when I saw that night that Bath and Body Works had a flash sale, and that additional 20% off coupon, I'm like, you know what, let's just go ahead and try it. And this is one that I wore last night. And unfortunately, what happened, like I thought, is exactly what happened on me. I really didn't like it. I don't know what it is about Baccarat Rouge 40 type scents, but on my skin, it just makes me a little bit nauseous. And with my body chemistry, it really just does not smell right. I almost get kind of like a visit to the dentist vibe. on myself, whereas in store it smelled so sweet and so beautiful. But let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes. The fragrance notes to Seeing Rouge are black currant bud, sweet saffron, and amber moss. So in store, I really smelled that sweet saffron and amber, and it smelled so pretty. So it's a real bummer that on my skin with my body chemistry, it just really doesn't work out for me. And a positive that I will say to this is that it is strong. I was actually looking through the comments on Bath and Body Works, not the comments, the reviews, and a lot of people were complaining about how light this is. And I really don't understand why people are saying this is light. Maybe they got a bad batch, I don't know, but this one is strong. Um, I sprayed it last night, and then as I was kind of like going about my night, it was so incredibly strong, borderline, like I said, nauseating. Just because on me this fragrance really does not work. So if you like Baccarat Rouge 40 type scents, I would go ahead and try this one, and don't be afraid that it's light because I personally don't think so. I found it to be very, very, very strong. So this one is slightly sweet and truly reminds me of all the Baccarat Rouge 40 type dupes that I have. It also reminds me of In the Stars from Bath and Body Works, but I will say Seeing Rouge is a lot sweeter than In the Stars. And sadly, In the Stars is also one that on me I do not like. It's very nauseating for some reason. It's very strong. Um, but they both kind of have like that same amber vibe. And I do like amber, but there's something about these Baccarat dupes that just really do not work for me. But if you like In the Stars, if you like Ariana Grande Cloud, um, Cheirosa 68, definitely go for Seeing Rouge and try it for yourself. Just because I know that the Baccarat Rouge 541 is crazy expensive. I think it's like $300-$400, something like that. Um, I don't think it's a terrible scent. Like I said, in the store, I really liked it. Just on me, it does not work. So definitely try it if those scents are something that you're into. Okay, so next let's talk about Aqua Hour. So in the store, I really enjoyed it. But I was kind of like, wait a minute, is this the same as In the Horizon, which is a fragrance that they came out in the luxury collection last time? And now that I own the two of them, they're definitely not the same, but they are kind of like similar vibes, if you will, like fresh and like aquatic. But let's talk about the fragrance notes to Aqua Hour. Its fragrance notes are watery bergamot, fresh peony, and salty cedarwood. So what makes this a little bit different is that peony. The peony was not in On the Horizon. So I just and in the store I actually really enjoyed this one. Um, I was scared to try it and buy it because I was afraid that it was going to be way too similar to the other one. So again, when they had that extra 20% off, I went ahead and bought it, and I'm so happy that I did because I really like this one. So again, with this one, I really wasn't sure what it was duping. I kind of had an idea when I smelled it, and the first thing that came to my mind was Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, and I actually have that one. So let's go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison. And here's my little travel spray of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. So they are both similar vibes, but they're definitely not dupes. Now that I'm putting them side by side, they're not dupes. They're both aquatic, they're both beautiful, but I really don't think Aqua Hour is duping Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue like I originally thought. Um, it doesn't say that Aqua Hour has like a lemoniness to it, but I almost feel like I do detect a little bit of just a tiny bit of lemon, and that's what they both have. But where they differ is that Aqua Hour has peony, where Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue has rose, and I can really smell the rose in this one now that I'm comparing the two side by side. Another thing that Light Blue has is amber, which I really didn't know that was in there, but now that they're side by side, I can really smell it. So Yeah, they're definitely not dupes. However, I do think they're similar enough that you could layer with it. But I have another dupe that I think that I have in mind. So let's go ahead and test out this one. So I'm so sorry. I think I'm gonna butcher the name to this one, but I have the Aqua di Gioia by Giorgio Armani. So this is another one that I was suspecting could be a possible dupe to Aqua Hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it and compare the two. Okay, so these two are definitely different. Aqua di Gioia is way more um, green, whereas Aqua Hour I find to be a little bit more like aquatic and wearable. I'm really not sure what this is duping. I actually prefer Aqua Hour to both of those high-end perfumes. I just find this one to be just more up my alley. This one is a little bit sharp and screechy, whereas Aqua Hour I think is just kind of like a light, fresh, really beautiful floral aquatic. Um, Aqua di Gioia again is just again there's like a lemoniness to it, but I don't think they're exact dupes. I think there's ylang ylang in this one, which I really don't care for, and the Dolce & Gabbana light blue one again it's pretty, but it's not a dupe. So I would just go ahead and test Aqua Hour in store and see if you like it, and not really think about what it's duping. Um, just because I don't know, but I find it to be a very pleasant, beautiful scent. When I was in the store, right away I gravitated towards that one. That was instantly one that I could smell and one that I knew that I liked. So next, let's get into Your Cheeky. Your Cheeky is supposed to be duping Carolina Herrera Good Girl Blush, and I've actually never smelled that one before, so I had no idea what to expect. So this was my first time smelling it when I was shopping the other day at Bath and Body Works, and let's get into the scent notes. Its fragrance notes are pink peppercorn, warm almond flower, and vanilla bean. So prior to going to Bath and Body Works, I was like looking at the scent notes of all of these, and Your Cheeky was definitely one that I was super super excited to try. That almond is just right up my alley. Tend to like really nutty fragrances, but when I was in the store, this was one that I actually had a really hard time smelling. I've already worn this scent, and I will say though that it is very similar to Guilty as a Fig in the sense that you're probably going to have to spray it every 2 hours. I just found this one to be a little bit on the light side, but it is still actually a really pretty fragrance. This one is just the color pink is exactly what it reminds me of, like a very girly pink, floral, almondy, vanilla type scent. So I actually don't own Carolina Herrera Good Girl or Good Girl Blush, but I do own Bath and Body Works Dahlia, and everybody says that it smells exactly like Carolina Herrera Good Girl. So I sprayed the two side by side, and they really do remind me of each other. Your Cheeky though is just the pinker, girlier version of Dahlia. They both give kind of almondy vibes, even though Dahlia says that there's no almond in it. I think the praline in it is what kind of gives it that creamy nuttiness. And I will say that Your Cheeky's pink peppercorn is also what makes those two scents different. So if you own Dahlia and you know you like it, I would try out Your Cheeky, but just keep in mind that it's definitely just a girlier, pinker version of Dahlia. When I smelled this, another Bath and Body Works perfume that I really got reminded of was Perfect in Pink. And this is a newer fragrance. I haven't had it in my collection for super long, but its fragrance notes are vibrant cherries, pink camellias, and whipped almond cream. So as you can see, besides the cherry, they are pretty similar. Like they're both almondy, creamy, sweet, and very girly. So let's go ahead and try out Your Cheeky. If you are into florals and you like almondy scents, I would definitely give Your Cheeky a try. It's very pretty, sweet, floral, and almost reminds me of something that Victoria's Secret would come out with. If you've ever tried Just a Kiss from Victoria's Secret, I believe that one also has that pink peppercorn, but Your Cheeky is just a little bit more on the almondy side. It's very pretty and very girly, and I'm really enjoying it. So that was my little haul and review on these new fragrances from the luxury line from Bath& and Body Works. Now let's go ahead and rank them. So this one really surprised me just because I already had one or two in mind that I really thought were going to be my favorite. But number one, I'm actually going to say Guilty as a Fig. This one is beautiful, powdery, slightly masculine, but still just so wearable and so pretty. So I'm gonna give number one to Guilty as a Fig. So number two, I'm gonna have to give it to Midnight Addiction just because I love the Black Opium scent profile. Anything vanilla or coffee, sign me up. I absolutely love it. There's something very sexy and sensual and just grown up about Midnight Addiction. So that's number two. Okay, so number three, I'm gonna give it to Loyal to You. Even though Dolce& and Gabbana Devotion isn't my favorite, there's something about Loyal to You that's lacking in Dolce& and Gabbana Devotion. There's something very screechy about Devotion, something that just kind of turns me off a little bit, and I really don't get that with Loyal to You. I enjoyed Loyal to You so much that I was considering getting the body cream, and I still might if there's another sale. So up next, I think I'm going to put Aqua Hour in the number four spot. I just really enjoyed this one. I just really see myself reaching for this one a lot. I love that there's peony in it and it's very aquatic. And even though there's no lemon in it, I kind of almost detect a little bit of lemon. So yeah, I think I'll just be getting a lot of use out of that one. So number five, I'm going to say is You're Cheeky. Even though this one was kind of like on the lighter side, I just think that it's so pretty, so girly. I love anything with almonds in it. So number five is You're Cheeky. Okay, so the next scent that I'm going to be ranking is Madame Mystique. I just thought this one was so sexy. I love how similar it is to Sofia Vergara, so I think layered together, those will be so pretty. I love that it's woody and sexy and a little bit more grown up. In last place, I'm gonna put Seeing Rouge, not because it's a bad scent, but just because for me personally, I don't think I can pull off these types of scents. There's just something very like bubbly and nauseating about it. I know so many people that adore these fragrances, like the Baccarat Rouge 40 type fragrances, Ariana Grande Cloud, things like that. And I'm so jealous because I really wish that I could pull these off because people seem to really enjoy them, but on me, it just really doesn't work. So for that reason, it's in last place. Alright, you guys, so that was my haul slash review, and I hope you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining or helpful. And if you guys have tried these, let me know what you think, which ones you like or which ones you didn't like. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.